is something who is striving for this. There is something who is trying to remove this ignorance. That's like you.
No. No, nobody is trying to remove the ignorance, but what is happening? Why is somebody trying? Your question is correct, but the question is, why is that all of us are thinking that there should be removal of ignorance, is it not? Because that answer has been given, because Ramana Maharshi also gives that answer, and of course it is there in the scriptures and commentators. Because when you sleep, there are two phases of your sleep. One is deep sleep, and another is when you dream. In medical language it is called rapid eye movement sleep, which is your dreaming phase, and non-rapid eye movement sleep, which is your deep sleep. After deep sleep, when there is no dream, all your metabolic activities and all your vital parameters go to the minimum possible. Your blood pressure, your respiration, your saturation, your heartbeat, everything goes to the minimum possible. But you are alive. And that is not interesting. What is interesting is when you come back after deep sleep, you say, Sukham swapsvamaha. Means I slept nicely. I had a nice sleep. So the question is, who understood that you slept? Because there at that moment there is no dream, you had no. So the teachers tell us that it is the Atman, the power of Atman or the light of Atman, which is being reflected from there. So it is given an example, like we have all done this experiment, this light slit experiment. One card will be there and there will be one slit made, there will be a source of light. In schools we do, to understand that light travels in So similarly, through deep sleep, the light of Atman, this is all figurative, okay, just to explain. Atman is brought, and then there is another school which says, how do you, suppose I am seeing you because of this tube light. How do you see things when you are dreaming? Your eyes is closed, there is no light, how do you see? So they give a wonderful explanation. They say it is the light of the Atman. It is there in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It is by the light of the Atman that you see. Illumination is provided, no? When you sleep, you get so much of like almost like cinema, you see so many things. Suppose you want to beat me. Maybe you are not able to do it now, but in dream you will see that you are nicely giving me blows, etc. So where does that light come for that camera? So the Upanishad says that it comes from Atman. These are all various. So the idea is somehow some element of relation, this thing that you are the Atman is remaining. Just like we have this appendix, a remnant of the fact that we were all monkeys one time. No, that's why whenever some operation is done, first appendix is removed because it is useless. So like that you have some remnant. That is why another example is, which I generally like to give, is amnesia. Partial as well as complete amnesia. A person forgets completely once, whatever, everything that person forgets, name, everything. But what is the question? At least usually in the movies, what is the question? Main kaun hu? You don't forget that you are you. You never forget. In fact, interestingly, Alzheimer's disease. I saw some Swamis who suffered Alzheimer's disease. One person had become total vegetable. So he had forgotten everything. But he did not forget. He was asking, who am I? He was actually asking this question, who am I? It became to it went to the extreme. Who am I? So how do you know that you are I? So in Vedanta again there is a whole methodology of finding the self, that is called Aham Graha Upasana. Are you listening? Aham Graha Upasana, catching hold of the concept of I, you do meditation. So that is what this particular, somewhere some remnant is there, that propels us to find out who we are. Even the worst person will not be satisfied with the explanation that you are the body. You see, everybody wants to go beyond this body. Even a person who has not read the Upanishads and all that. Everyone has that drive to go beyond. Only human beings, of course, they have this drive. Why? Because of this Atman.
Maharajji, if only Atman exists, there is nothing beyond Atman. Then where does ignorance go?
This is an unexplained question. That is why it is told that
Then it's a weak philosophy in that way.
no,
It's
no,
not explained.
no, 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 no.
If only Atman exists, then there is no point of something else coming in, or if ignorance is separate. If it's included, then why should it come in the first place?
This what you call, this problem is there in every philosophy in the world. You call it, here you call it ignorance in Advaita Vedanta, in other philosophies, for example in Christianity you will call it devil. If God is there, where from devil comes?
They have Lucifer and
Where from he comes? So God is God not powerful to kill devil?
they have a different thing. I'm not worried about that.
No, that's what Advaita Vedanta also will say, it is inexplicable. Maya or ignorance is inexplicable. There is no explanation. It is without beginning, but it has got end.
Actually, what I think, I mean, why we are saying that it's not, it can't be explained, we are saying in all physical plane, because one intellect in that way,
No.
that mechanism we cannot explain.
No. This is told by Upanishads, by teachers, not in the physical plane. It cannot be explained at all. Even in the even in the bigger plane, it cannot. How do you explain? There is only Brahman. How? Immediately, some people, you see, dualistic philosophies will say suddenly in Upanishads that is also there.
Even this example you can interpret it as dualistic because it is there.
No, let me finish. In dualistic examples, like in the Upanishad that is there, suddenly the Lord felt like that there should be one other person. So he created. But why does he suddenly feel? Even that there also you cannot explain. Why did Lord suddenly feel? So he felt. It cannot be explained.
Something like statement of fact.
Yeah, Swamiji says that. Swamiji says Maya is a statement of fact. It is there, I cannot explain. For example, even in the empirical world, see, there are 4 kinds of people. Who are they? One kind of people are like Somnath. They do good just for doing good. See, kitna bada de diya sabke samne. No, I can tell you, no, other people if I tell, I don't know the repercussion. So people, there are so many people, not very many, but there are people who will do good just for doing good. Then there are other person who will do good for some benefit, some return. Then there are other people who will do bad for some benefit. And then there is this inexplicable group who will do bad just for the sake of doing bad. Somebody is going by a scooter, simply ek patthar maar diya. Kyun mara? You ask that person, why did you? Just like that. Can you explain this? You cannot. Even in the empirical world we have this. Suddenly somebody felt like ek thappad maar diya. Or somebody is going, you see, it happens so often with us. You're going, hey Maharaj. Why? What harm did I do to you? Simply is, what? See, jache dekho. And if you are going in the car, it becomes worse. Oh Maharaj, gaadi niche pe jache. You ask him, why did you do? Actually, that poor fellow has no explanation. Once what happened is, Omkaranandaji, there was one Swami, he was going in Kolkata. So those days, like it was somewhere in 30s or something, then car means only imported cars. So imported car, he was going like that with somebody else. So one person was walking in the pavement. So Kolkata is known for this, what, titkari, this teasing, this passing comments. It's known for that. So that another person was saying, oh sadhu, baba, gadi chope jache, vishal gadi. And those days car means not like nowadays fast, no, it will go gada 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 like that. So Swami immediately asked, stop. And he was a great scholar and he used to eat like anything, and he was also having a very large physique. So he got him down and simply lifted him. He said, why you want to travel by car? Gaadi chapte chao, no, bosho, sit. And this fellow was like, Hare Baba, you leave me. No, you sit. So then that fellow has no explanation. Why did he say like that? No explanation. So these things happen. We have no explanation. And more thing is love at first sight. Suddenly you see somebody and there is this love at first sight. How do you explain? Nobody knows.
This everything is Atma. This statement can be made only by a realized person. He understands. Before realization, it becomes a statement.
No, that is true. No, but still the thing is that I have not gone to say Mumbai. It's a fact, I have never gone to Mumbai. So I have not gone to Mumbai, but I know Mumbai is there. I am always saying Mumbai is there because I know. Why? Apta Vakya. This is one way of knowledge, one proof of knowledge is verbal testimony. I know that Mumbai is there. So you cannot say that because you have never been to Mumbai. No, I can say because I know people who are very authoritative people and they are saying very sane and very well-meaning people, and it is there all in the maps and Google Maps. If anything is there in Google means it is there. So I can say that. Similarly, you might not have realized the Atman, but because so many people are saying, so many people who have realized it, you can very well say, I am the Atman.
Because all these series of questions were fulfilled. Only after realizing all these questions will be solved.
Now that is okay. That is your understanding. Now if you suddenly ask me, in Mumbai you see after Santa Cruz it comes, then I will have to go to Google Maps. But if I have been in Mumbai, I can say yes. Offhand I can say yes. Yeah, that is the route. That is the difference. I will be knowing. I will be familiar with that. But you can always say that I am the Atman.
But if somebody thinks the authentic person or they have the Aptavakya like Osama bin Laden, then it will be a disaster.
You see, Aptavakya is what happens in science. The basic axiom of science is it should be a verifiable truth. Means it can be experimented and again you can obtain the same result. Similarly with verbal testimony, you go to one authority, he says the same thing, you go to another authority.
How shall I know who is the authority?
That's what I am giving you. I am telling you the procedure. You go to one authority, he tells the same thing. You go to another authority, he also says the same thing. Authority means one who have either they are self-proclaimed authority or other people say that this person is the authority. For example, you have a heart problem. Say somebody has a heart problem, not you. You will be very healthy. Somebody else has a heart problem. What does he do? He or she does. They say, to whom will I go? Which doctor? Then you Google or you ask somebody. Then they say a cardiologist. Okay. Then you go to the cardiologist, they give you an opinion. Then you go to another doctor and go for a second opinion. How do you know that who is the authority? They themselves will tell, or the society will tell, other people will tell. That's what.
But they have proven record that they have diagnosed, but they have treated some.
So they are not the authority. If you know that they have poor record, why do you go to them? Proven record.
They have proven some proven record.
Yes, proven record.
I don't know in the case of religion who has the proven record.
You see, all the scriptures, they give you you don't know means you have not searched. You see, now if you say in this world of information superhighway, even for things which are spiritual or religious, if you say you don't know, that means you have not put any effort. All you need to know is www.google.com. You go there and just type. You just type, do it now in your mobile or somewhere. You just type what is the characteristics of a realized soul. You will get pages after pages. How do you know? What is the question Arjuna asks to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita? Sita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sitadi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. O Krishna, Sita pragyasya ka bhasha. Whom do you call as Sita pragya? How does he live? What is his actions? What is his behavior?
But But there I need some prajna to analyze this. Whether
What prajna? It is very simple. You see, these questions come when you are not even.
I'm a faulter.
No.
There are some Meti Babas.
Are.
People get faulted.
Are Baba, have you read that Gita Shloka? What does it say?
I don't know exactly.
That is the problem. You first read it. Insincerity cannot lead you anywhere, either in this world or the other. Just asking question cannot lead us anywhere. You have to be sincere. It is very simple. Samaloštashma kanchana. A person who has the same attitude both to iron and also to gold. Sukeshu vigata spriha, dukkheshu anudvignamana. This is very simple. I don't need a big, large hadron collider to understand this. Sukeshu vigata spriha. You go and tell a person, you have been promoted. So much of elation in the face. But the person does not bother. There are people like that. I have seen many people. It is very easy to practice also. It is not that difficult to practice. You can yourself practice in degrees. So you say, yes. Now there is a big joke, no? That a person got lottery ticket, 10 crores. So the lottery fellow informed another fellow, doctor. So the doctor knew this person who got the lottery. So he said that now I should be very careful to tell this news, break this news to this person because he has a heart condition. So I just tell 10 crores means this fellow will get heart attack and die. So he said, okay, you give this job to me, I will go and slowly prepare him for this event. He went there and he said, see, dost, friend, just suppose that you get a lottery of 10 crores. Suppose. What will you do with the money? Then he said, why? You are such a great friend of mine. I will give you half, 5 crores. Now this fellow got heart attack. This fellow got heart attack. So,
a person like Swami Vivekananda, he himself tested Ramakrishna even in his deathbed. So it is not that simple to find it. Whether some person is a Sita Pragya or not.
no, what are you telling? Because Swami Vivekananda tested, that means it cannot be found. What?
No, cannot be. Right? A person like Swami Vivekananda, he has enormous power, powerful himself. But he himself tested Ramakrishna.
So no, what is the testing means?
That means even then he was not sure. Ramakrishna told Swami.
No, wait a minute. 1 minute. No. Ek minute. No, wait a minute. He tested means what? He tested, that does not make that it is very difficult to find. And he was testing whom? Sri Ramakrishna, who had many qualities which required more testing. For example, you have a product, say a particular element, which are many properties. So you will have to conduct more experiments to check all the properties. Sri Ramakrishna was a huge ocean. So to test him, it required so much time. Yes, definitely. But the very. So what you want? Simple things. No, 1 minute.
Not that.
Huh.
So I am saying that it is not easy to find it needs some prajna to find a Sita Pragya.
No. What it needs is when that student is ready, teacher arrives. If you have mumukshutva, what is mumukshutva? Sri Ramakrishna gives the parable that when the teacher took the disciple, he asked, what is Vyakulata? He took him to the pond and dipped his head in the head and then in the water, and then he was gasping for breath. He said, when you will gasp for breath just like that, when you will be yearning for truth, you will get the teacher. So this, from personal experience, I say that I also got a path. So if you really have that kind of yearning, you will get. But now that you don't have, that is why this kind of confusion is coming.
Swami Vivekananda only with the help of only one question he tested Ramakrishna at the beginning, and at the end he was only testing whether he is avatar or not.
No, that is not true. Sri Ramakrishna was tested continuously by Swami Vivekananda.
But with the first test itself, with one question that whether you have seen God or not, he has become the bhakta.
No. He was convinced of his greatness. But after telling that, even after that first experience, he said that he was a monomaniac. Swami Vivekananda says he was a monomaniac, mane ki pagal.
But he started following from that one person.
Yeah, not following exactly, but he was seeing him, yes.
At the end, he was testing only whether he is avatar, not saying.
No, what you actually, I think what your expression is, you see, Swami Vivekananda was searching for a person who has seen God. When he got the reply from Sri Ramakrishna, from then on he went on meeting Sri Ramakrishna. Whether we have that question at all, who cares? Who really cares whether somebody has seen God?
Maharaj, in Ramayana it is
No,
said-
why not? Because I need someone, some person who will see me God.
Ramji Maharaj said that Harikrupa Binu Vilay nahi santa.
Uh-huh.
Since we cannot find the Guru, God will send.
Without grace, that is one way of seeing it. Another thing is, this question was asked afterwards by one person to Sri Ramakrishna. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, what does that matter to you? Whether I have seen God or not, how does it matter to you? So you see, just lip service will not do. Whether you actually need or not. The very fact that you are asking such questions shows that you don't have that vakulata. I am not brushing away your question. Please understand. If you are really vyakul, this happens even in material things, in empirical world also. If you are really, if you really want to eat Alfonso mango, you will get. You will get. This happens, no, you try it. All motivational speakers talk about that. All inspirational speakers talk about that. If you really want that something happen, it happens.
In material world also, if I have to study in IIT, I have to definitely pass higher secondary.
Yeah.
So if I have to find a person, God realized person, I have to also go spiritually little high so that I can find out the person. Not that
No, it need not be that you go a little high, but if you have the yearning, then you will be taken.
that art is
You see, because of the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, because of the grace of Swami Vivekananda and Sri Sarada Devi and other many people, if a fool, in that sense, see, I have not attained Brahman. If I can be in a path of monastic life in this age when there are so many distractions, then definitely everybody can try. Only thing is, these are all actually psychological rebuttals towards this. We don't, psychologically we don't want to try, so we kind of rationalize. Yes.
with Bhaktivinoda, if somebody tries, that's a sadhana.
Because you see, that is the difference. Why Sri Ramakrishna, he brought Swami, his disciples were like a garden of flowers. Swamiji says that actually. He picked everyone and he brought Girish Chandra Ghosh. Why did he bring? Why do you think Girish Chandra Ghosh? He says that he was Bhairava's avatar. Are Bhairava had no work to take avatara. Why does God take avatara? God is very happy. Even dualistic model, he is happy in Vaikuntha Loka, etc., with everything. Why does that poor fellow come here? Because to show us the path. Bhairava, if he came as Girish Chandra Ghosh, to show us the path. You cannot commit sin also like Girish Chandra Ghosh. I challenge all of you. Can you do that? It is impossible. He himself says that means. Huh? Huh?
Had I known,
No.
Wherever he sits, even below is impure.
Not only below, means so much of depth becomes impure. Is
This must have done something before, maybe years ago.
you see that this is rationalizing. This is rationalizing.
That faith is the ending faith.
Rationalizing. You tell anybody, Acha Swami Ranganath, oh, he was a great person. Swami Bhutesh, he was a great person. Acha, this devotee, that person was great. Meaning that these were people, all great people. I am a normal people, so I cannot. Amra ki Parbo Maharaj, Amra ki Bhakto, Amra Gruhasto.
No, he doesn't know what he has done in his previous birth. There's no point.
So which you don't know. Forget about it.
His ghost had that kind of thing, which he could realize that he is avatar.
Are Baba, what I am telling is, forget about his previous birth, even in this very Ihaiva Tairjita Sarga. Why are scriptures wrong? Why are we bent upon proving that scriptures are wrong? I don't understand this.
Scriptures are correct. On the basis of scriptures, I am saying.
No. Scriptures say that Ihaiva Tairjita Sarga. In this very life you can quit. Why does scripture say? Then scripture should say that yes, first in the and this logically is wrong. How? Logically is wrong. Okay, previous birth he did something. For doing that something in previous birth he should have got that. There is something called ad regressum infinitum in logic. So it goes on like that, anavastha dosha. By your logic itself, Girish Chandra Ghosh became like that because in previous birth something he did. So to do that, he should have done something in the previous birth.
Swami, you have told the same example at the time of that one tiger came and killed the person and the other person.
Are Sri Ramakrishna said that, but it cannot be. You cannot take that completely as a rigid framework.
But I just don't want to belittle this.
No. Are who is believing? I am saying is Bhairava's avatara. But he did sin. Why are we afraid to accept that? He did sin. He was a great sinner. Why do we? Saint Augustine was a great sinner. Have you anyone of read Confessions? It puts to shame all graphic novels. What is that? Shades of grey. Everything is put to shame. Augustine's life was so full of sin in the very gross sense of the term. First, he talks about almost like Advaita Vedanta, and then afterwards, if you read, it is like so vulgar. But he became a great saint, and not an ordinary saint, an extraordinary saint. So, why are we afraid to talk about sin? Yes, it is a fact. But that is not the reality. That is not your reality. That is why Swami Vivekananda said, he went to the West, which is considered to be the height, the place of enjoyment, the land of Bhoga. That also he said that this is the land of Bhoga. And he says there, to call you sinners is a libel on human nature, standing libel on human nature. Why does he say that? Because sin comes from an idea of duality. You see, it is just like calling us dirty because we eat and we go to we have to excrete. All this is, whatever I excrete is remaining in my stomach or in intestines. Just because of that, will you call me dirty? It is just like that. When you call a person sinner, it's just like that. That is what Swami Vivekananda told. But sin in that sense of the term, yes, it is there. Why are we afraid? By telling that Girish Chandra Ghosh was a sinner, I am not belittling Girish Chandra Ghosh. Swami Vivekananda again says, it is very easy to be a stone. A wall also cannot tell lies. A cow also cannot tell lies. But only a man can tell lies, and a man can become a super human being. So it is very easy to sin in that sense, but it is very difficult to go beyond that sin. And again I will tell you, don't please say that in the previous birth he would have done. Yes, he would have done.
And then we have to definitely face that kind of faith he had. If you don't talk about
Faith, Shraddha. Shraddha is necessary. Shraddha is necessary. What I am telling is, we try to find answers outside of ourselves. Our scriptures, our tradition says that the answers lie within yourself. Whenever you are saying, because of previous birth, this, why does it come? It is not your own problem. It's not your sole problem. This is the problem of the whole humanity. Why does it come? Why does this answer come? That something you would have done, that is why you got. Because we try to find external reasons. That should not be the case. That cannot be the case. That cannot be the case. And interestingly, though religious disciplines are so many religions are there, but I will tell you something, that almost across religions the experience has been the same. So religion you have to study at a philosophical level and an experiential level. When you see Omar Khayyam, where is that Islam there? When you see, as we will see, as I said, Saint Augustine, when you read Confessions, Christian theology says that you cannot realize God in that sense which we say. There is God, then there is the Spirit, and then His Son. Father, Son and the Spirit. This is the triad of Christian theology. But Saint Augustine, he talks about Advaita Vedanta in Confessions. In the first few pages of Confessions, he talks about Advaita Vedanta. He does not say Advaita Vedanta, but he says that everything is one, everything. Saint Teresa of Avila, what we are reading here, na jayate na mriyate, she says, she used to write poems, I brought one poem today, I will read. She says that there, how can a Christian saint tell something which is not even accepted? In fact, Christian theology is against this. In fact, Saint Teresa of Avila had to face a lot of opposition from the church because she said that I have seen the Lord. Lord is within me. So experientially, what happened to Mirabai? She became one with Krishna. What happened to Madhvacharya? If you go to Udupi, you can see the temple where he became one with Krishna. What happened to Andal? What happened to Radha? But these are all dualistic philosophies. Arey philosophy ko maro goli. These are some things which were preached at that time for that particular society or something. But what did happen? Unification is knowledge. That is what is happening. So there is only one experience, becoming one with the higher reality. That's all. There is no other experience. But when philosophers will come, Swami Vivekananda says, Shankara tortured the text. Wherever there was dualistic, he made it non-dualistic. Ramanuja tortured the text. Wherever it was non-dualistic, he made it dualistic. Madhvacharya also did the same thing. So all these commentators come and torture the